Coming up on Mountain News this morning, folks across the region wake up to a snowy scene just outside their doors, and crews prepare to continue clearing the roads to make sure your daily drive to work is safe as possible.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
It's almost 6 o'clock on this Monday morning. Good morning to you. I'm Dakota Makris. I am so happy to be back home on Mountain News This Morning. Let's take it over to Brandon Robinson for a look at our forecast. Brandon, this morning, I don't know what I was expecting to wake up to. I looked out my window. The roads downtown were almost clear. My car wasn't that covered, but I mean, I guess it could be worse.
Hey, listen, it might be worse a little bit later today, and you're not Chaz.
No, I'm Dakota Makris. Good morning to you, Brandon.
I had to have a little fun there for just a second. I had to bring you back to the energy we normally have here in the morning. But yes, it is a cold and snowy start out there for a lot of folks this morning, but we're going to continue to see that for a little while longer. Winter weather advisory replaced the winter storm warning in a lot of counties, and some snow still rolling through. We got a couple more waves of that. Now, again, I think you could see some light accumulations at some places today, but it's not going to be a widespread thing. Over at Pikeville, roads pretty slick in spots there. You can see the snow there on the sides and the kind of the medians and things, but just be careful, slow it down, because now everybody in our region, Charleston's at 30, but everybody in our region is below 30 degrees. So again, keep that in mind. Temperatures continuing to fall just a little bit this morning. I think we'll eventually get down to right around 25, and you could tell that we are several degrees colder today in most areas. Now, Ashland's an exception, but in most areas than we were this time yesterday. In some spots like Pikeville, or excuse me, not Pikeville, Harlan, Wise, and Middlesboro approaching 10 degrees colder than this time yesterday. So the forecast high today is 29. The average high for this time of the year, 44. The record high for this day is 62 back in 1990. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you. Well, snow began falling in Laurel County Sunday and continues to impact road conditions. Sunday evening, Kentucky transportation officials felt that road conditions would still cause problems throughout the District 11 region. Spokesperson Les Dixon wants people who have to be on the roads just to be careful.
I know the roadways will be hazardous in the morning, and you know, like I said, if you have to get out, you just, use extreme caution.
Well, transportation officials hope that the roads will be cleared by this afternoon, but it will all depend on continued snow and any ice. Maintenance crews here in Perry County are preparing to clear and salt roads this morning, but crew members are still urging people to stay off the roads. Freddie Grigsby with the Perry County Fiscal Court says this snow is more dangerous than we experienced a week and a half ago thanks to the ice. Grigsby and other crew members urge everyone to stay off the roads unless absolutely necessary.
Be extremely careful and just don't go if you don't absolutely have to, because actually this one again I think is worse than a big snow because it's going to be slicker under due to the rainfall before and the freezing and not very much snow on top of it. So it's going to be worse than the other. I'd rather travel in the deep snow.
Well, if you live here in Perry County, you are asked to be patient with maintenance crews as they work to clear and salt the roads today. Road crews and transportation officials across the region have been preparing for the ice and snow this winter storm has been bringing. Our Chaz Jenkins has more on those preparations.
Preparing for the worst, as Kentucky Transportation Cabinet officials have been in recovery mode.
Which means that we've been calibrating our equipment and inspecting it, making any necessary repairs, making sure we have enough salt to get us through the event.
For many local fire departments, it is all hands on deck.
We're going to have 3 firefighters here at all times, 24 hours a day for the next 4 days. Normally we don't do that, but in extreme emergencies, we tend to have people on staff.
Officials say they are worried the most about the potential for ice.
We may have to do more salting and less scraping if it's a layer of ice to give the salt a chance to melt before we try to scrape anything off.
If you do find yourself on the roads, be cautious for black ice.
You always want to turn into the spin. Do not apply your brakes, just accelerate as much as possible, and usually your vehicle will sustain itself, it'll come back.
Always pushing the golden rule of severe weather.
Best advice is just to stay at home, if at all possible. Don't get out unless you absolutely have to.
Ready to go, for any amount of snow. Jazz Jenkins, WYMT Mountain News.
Some people were stuck in traffic for several hours on I-75 southbound near mile marker 47. The road shut down around 5 o'clock yesterday evening. Fire crews said the road briefly reopened but was closed after about 15 minutes when a truck got stuck in the snow. Road crews were on the scene working to clear the roads. Fire crews say there were multiple agencies working to assist stranded drivers. For now, the road is back up and traffic in the area is flowing again. A rock slide that has been blocking Kentucky 321 since January 3rd was cleared Friday and the road has reopened. The massive Floyd County slide was likely caused by rapid freezing and thawing due to up and down temperatures. Local officials say it is one of the biggest rock slides they have ever seen. No injuries were reported from the rock slide and access to homes or businesses were not directly impacted. Travel in Laurel County has also been very limited. A Laurel County Sheriff's deputy shared these photos of Main Street in London and 490 north of London. Salt trucks are out in the area, but deputies say, drivers just need to stay home and only get out if needed, saying they also responded to crashes yesterday as the snow fell. The winter storm is also making an impact in some of our neighboring states. Ice and snow created dangerous roads and conditions in Virginia overnight. Major interstates are seeing countless issues, including traffic, abandoned semis, and drivers losing control of their cars. Well, we are keeping a close eye this morning on power outages due to heavy and wet snow and ice. Roughly 2,600 households in Laurel County are without power. Lee, Owsley, Rockcastle, Estill, and Clay counties are also reported to be experiencing outages. We will have the list of those outages in our counties over on our website at WYMT.com. With the snowstorm making an impact, utility company officials like those at Kentucky Power are preparing for power outages like we're seeing here in our region this morning. Cindy Wiseman, spokesperson for Kentucky Power, says the company is taking an all-hands-on-deck approach and have been doing all they can to prepare workers and customers for outages, as well as prepare to assess any damage left behind.
We're able to determine, based on the forecast, if and when we need crews staged in certain areas, should we bring in outside resources, what will be the safety hazards of this particular storm event, those types of things.
Officials advise everyone to prepare an emergency plan and an emergency kit if you experience a power outage. And if you live with someone who requires special care, such as an elderly person or someone with a medical condition, ensure you have a safety kit or a plan for them as well. Well, it's not just our region feeling the impact of ice and snow this morning. Winter storm warnings and advisories are posted up and down the East Coast, with some areas bracing for nearly a foot of snow. Laura Podesta reports from New York.
A major winter storm is taking aim at much of the eastern U.S.
Overnight's going to be very unpredictable, and with the darkness and ice on the roads and high winds, this could be a very dangerous situation.
The National Weather Service posted alerts along a path that stretched from Mississippi to Maine. An estimated 80 million people live in areas expected to be affected by the storm.
We should have stayed at home, but we needed some groceries.
Hundreds of crashes were reported as snow and freezing rain blanketed the southeast on Sunday.
We was out before the snow started, and we was hurrying up trying to go home, literally.
A tractor trailer slid off a bridge in North Carolina, leaving it dangling from the side of an overpass. The driver was hospitalized and is expected to survive.
Please don't take unnecessary chances with this dangerous winter storm. Stay put and stay safe.
Snow and ice aren't the only threats facing the Northeast.
Along the shore, our major concern is going to be with the wind, which could bring down trees and power lines.
Officials from New Jersey up to Massachusetts expect wind gusts of up to 70 miles per hour. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
As of 3:30 this morning, more than 180,000 homes and businesses in 9 states were without power due to this storm. That number is expected to increase as the day progresses. Well, the Kentucky candle factory destroyed by the Mayfield tornado will not be rebuilt. 8 employees of Mayfield Consumer Products Candle Factory died in the tornado. Some workers filed a class action suit against their employer, alleging they were not allowed to seek shelter during the storm. With the Mayfield plant closing, some of the 501 employees will be offered new jobs at another location about 10 miles away. But it's estimated that at least 250 Candle employees will be laid off permanently.
6:09 here on this Monday morning. I'm actually updating the power outage story right now, and it looks like the number of outages increasing across the region this morning. I know Kentucky Power alone has more than 2,600 people without power. I'm putting the rest of the numbers in now, so that story will be updated here soon on WYMT.com. Let's go over to our winter weather advisory, kind of show you what's going on there, and we're continuing to watch that kind of replace that winter storm warning this morning. It goes through later this afternoon, either lunchtime or right around 4 o'clock for those higher elevation counties there near the border. We're going to continue to see some cold temperatures out there. Wise at 23, and it looks like Ashland at 28, and Logan too are some of our warmer spots. So it's going to be a cold day as we head out across the region this morning. 29 this afternoon. Scattered snow showers will be back and forth throughout the day, and we're going to continue to see that for a while. But then as we head deeper into tonight and the rest of the week, we dry out briefly, but more chances for rain and snow return as we head toward midweek. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. More news is on the way. When we come back, the nation mourns the loss and remembers the life of a true American hero. That's next.